Usyk, Fury, Joshua, 3 kings, 3 reigns, but kings get old, all right? The special era is ending, and I think that's obvious. Who's gonna pick up the crown, when these giants leave the building? The answer is terrifyingly violent. So we're trying to determine who's the next, unified champion, the next boxing heavyweight champion superstar, unified belts, the stardom, all that stuff. Like Usyk, right? Who's going to be next? I think we're going to be able to figure that out in this video. And in my opinion, there are 5 fighters which we have to consider. Before we unpack all that, if you end up liking the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's get into it. So number 5 on the list, we're going to talk about Agit Kabayel, the silent assassin. If you're not paying attention, right, you missed him, all right? He doesn't scream, he doesn't trash talk, but he dismantles. Arslanbek Makhmudov was supposed to be the boogeyman. Kabayel didn't just beat him, he broke his ribs and his will, all right? Then he went to Saudi Arabia and schooled Frank Sanchez. Now, here's the danger with Kabayel. He isn't a knockout artist in the traditional sense. He's a suffocator, all right? He has high volume, high fight IQ on cardio that heavyweight bodies honestly shouldn't possess. His style isn't about one-punch power, it's about drowning you. He's the most technically sound heavyweight outside of Usyk in my opinion right now, but does he have the star power to carry the division? Probably not. He's the guy the champions avoid because the fear for their reputation. He makes you look bad before he stops you. The final end to his story is yet to be told though, which is something we will be keeping an eye on as he pushes for the mandatory spot. But as disciplined as Kabayel is, the next fighter makes this look tame in terms of pure raw chaos. We're talking about Fabio Wardley. Most heavyweight fighters are groomed in amateur programs, all right, fighting for medals before they fight for the money. Wardley skipped all that. His amateur background was white-collar brawls, bro. He is raw. He's untrained in the classical sense and is terrifying, honestly speaking. If you think the first Frazier-Clark fight was bad, the rematch showed a level of violence that was severe and nearly ended Clark's career. Clark had the pedigree, the Olympic medal, the technical boxing, the schooling. Wardley had the right hand that looked like it was forged in a car park. Wardley didn't box, he hunted. Wardley proved athleticism and raw power might trump technical science, all right? He wins fight with his hands low, he relies on reflexes, and he has that equalizer power that Deontay Wilder used to have. However, here's the chilling part. Wardley takes damage and gives damage. His nose was smashed across his face in the first Clark fight. And also talk about his fight with Parker. That was a dog fight. He had to bring the dog out of him to finish that fight when he did. So he has that dog in him, and honestly, fighters like that, they're really unpredictable. But let me know in the comments, you think a street fighter style can actually hold a world champion status? But I'm talking about a unified champion. The next fighter we're going to talk about is Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker was dead and buried, all right? He was the nice guy who lost to Joshua, lost to Joyce, relegated to being Tyson Fury's sparring partner. But Parker was different, all right? He didn't quit. He linked up with Andy Lee, changed his style, and went on a run that made jaws drop. Honestly speaking, he has a whole resurgence in his career. He stepped into the ring with Deontay Wilder, a man who sends people to the hospital, at least back then. And he didn't just survive, he dominated, all right? He took Wilder's soul that night, honestly speaking. Then he fought Zhilei Zhang, a man who hits like a truck and got off the canvas twice to win. So when Fury and Usyk retired, Parker, he's the man with the most experience left, if we're being honest, left standing there. And he's seen Joshua's era, he's seen Fury's era, he's still here, all right? He has evolved from a safety-first boxer to a mid-range brawler who knows how to survive in the trenches, all right? And I think he does have the most experience on this list. But speaking of accountability, people wrote Parker off for years, called him boring. Now he's the most active, dangerous veteran. Even though Wardley did beat him, brought the dog out of him and beat him. I think that kind of confirms something to me, in my opinion. And he's more of the gatekeeper, who killed the gatekeepers. If the belt fragments, Parker is positioned to pick it up and hand it to the right person. You know, he isn't the future in terms of next 10 years, but for the next, 24 months, 2 years, maybe. Next fighter we're going to talk about is Daniel Dubois. Yes, this might be a controversial one on the list, but hear me out. Look, Daniel Dubois, he's kind of labeled a quitter, all right? He took the knee against Joyce, looked overwhelmed. Against Usyk, the narrative wrote itself again. Dubois has no heart, all right? That was the narrative, the whole knockout. He wasn't even trying to get up. And he walked into Wembley Stadium against Anthony Joshua in front of 96,000 people, and he didn't just win, he brutalized Joshua. And let me remind you that Joshua is still a great heavyweight boxer, and that was a great execution, all right? Here's the danger with Dubois. He is young and he's gigantic. The amount of people he surrounds himself with, personally, his father and, the whole weird scandal. I'll attach a video related to that fight with Usyk. He was at a party and all that stuff. If you want to watch that video, I'll link it in this description. Now, Dubois pretty much represents the transition of the sweet science of Usyk back to the heavyweight artillery, all right, of the 90s. He's reckless, he's hittable, but his power is the great equalizer, all right? The quitting allegations, I think he has potential to do some good things. Next fighter we have to talk about is Moses Itauma. This is the most exciting fighter, in my opinion, on this list. Moses Itauma is the future, all right? He's 21 years old and knocking grown men unconscious before the first bell stops ringing, all right? He wants to break Tyson's record of the youngest heavyweight champion. Now, why is he number one on this list? It's because he has everything. And this is not just hype, all right? He has the size of Lewis, the speed of Ali, the bad intentions of Tyson. And I know that sounds like hype, but watch his tape, man. He doesn't just move like a heavyweight, he moves like a middleweight who swallowed a tank. Now, the current kings, Usyk, formerly Fury, they're in their mid-late 30s, all right? Dubois and Parker are in their prime. Itauma is the next generation. By the time Usyk hangs it up, he will be more advanced. And I just want to give a full disclosure that this also includes a lot of belief in his potential, all right? He hasn't really been tested, if we're being honest. We haven't seen him get hit. We don't know if he has a chin, but offensively, he's the most complete prospect Britain has ever produced. If he continues his trajectory, he doesn't just win belts, all right? He cleans out divisions for decades. But that is a high potential. I have to keep saying that. It's a belief because, again, he hasn't been tested. But yeah, those are the 5 fighters, the 5 maybe horsemen of the heavyweight division. Complete violence, technicality. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm missing anybody out in this list. And let me know if you disagree on anything. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video if you like the video. And subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Peace.